It's okay now.
Look, Angela. Please, Angela.
It's Angela. Angela, are you all right?
Angela, are you okay?
Many of the terms, comments, and stories you're about to hear may not be suitable for some. Listener discretion advised.
I'll give you a good reason why my house is not complete. I have a professional wrestler and a gangster rapper building my house.
All right now, boys and girls, we want to introduce...
Mom says when I wear this badge, you're supposed to treat me like a man of the law.
Dave Sheridan.
I did poop my pants a little bit on purpose. You know, I wanted to.
Oh, you did it.
CJ Creech.
I actually got on Facebook a friend request from a member of ISIS this past week, which was really freaking weird.
Have you seen your beard lately?
The Dave and Creech Show.
Now here's your hosts, Dave and Creech.
Welcome, everybody, to the Dave and Creech Show. This is the first podcast that we've done in 2019, and I am here, CJ Creech, along with Dave Sheridan, and it's been a while, hasn't it?
World? It has been a while. It has been a little while. Probably not since November, because then I got pulled away. I shot a movie with Zach Ward and James Hong, and that's called Patsy Lee. And I was in some heavy prosthetics, chicken face things, 4 hours of makeup a day for some days. And so I thought I could have an opportunity during December to do a podcast with you to promote Beyond Blank Space, which is available now on DVD, not Blu-ray, and you're going to hear us talk about that in a minute. But you can go to Walmart, Best Buy, Amazon, go online, Google Beyond Blank Space DVD, and I think they're like $10. I think it's worth it. Add it to your collection. So yeah, I didn't get on then, and then there was the holiday, and then the top of the year, and then I went away. You were doing the Days of the Dead in Atlanta, and I know you hung out with Felissa. She sent me photos of you and her together, and I booked a movie with Harrison Smith, the director of Death House. We did a movie together in Pennsylvania in freezing weather called The Special, and now I got back about a week ago. And I've been sort of slammed recovering from that. And so I'm just finally feeling back up to it. So now I'm kind of getting my head above water here.
Exactly. Yeah, and then you know, I've been, like you said, the Days of the Dead. I've been hanging out with Jaylen quite a bit, and I've been doing the filming thing myself. Well, I guess. Sending in my pictures, I guess, because Halloween just came out on DVD and Blu-ray officially in January, and then I got booked for something else that we'll be talking about a little bit later.
So what's going on, man? It's been a little bit, right? It's been a little bit.
It's been a little bit. The last podcast we did together was in November, when we had Cudlets on.
What?
Yeah. It's been.
Moly.
It's been a pretty good minute, and you know, it did press in Atlanta for Strangeland back in January, where we hung out with Felissa for a while. And actually, today we're going to air her interview that I did with her. I know she sent you to Pennsylvania. Actually, she mentioned that you were there when we were doing the interview. So I guess you're back in LA now.
Yeah, it was brutally cold there. That was like -8, -3, -6, shooting outdoors. I couldn't believe it. I was like, remember, I was like, I don't know if I can make Days of the Dead. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. But I also didn't know I was going to be shooting in like -8 degrees.
Yeah.
I probably would have chosen to do Days of the Dead. So.
It would have definitely been a little bit warmer. It was actually very warm in Atlanta that weekend.
Yeah. That was a couple weeks ago, right? Maybe like 2 weekends ago, 3 weekends ago.
Yeah, I think about 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. In Austin, you met Austin, right? You met him before, right?
Yeah. Well, I think we had some interactions before, but yeah, I officially met him in Atlanta too. When when I went by to Felissa Sable to first say hey when we got in on that Saturday.
Yeah, he sent me a photo that you were like drinking some fruity drink, man. It was like a strawberry mimosa or something like that. You know what I mean? It was.
I was. Yeah, I was drinking a fruity drink for sure. It was
What's that? What was that about?
I was out drinking with Jalen, and who's the lady in the photo I sent you with Felissa.
Okay.
And yeah, we went out and drinking, and he was there, and we were waiting for Felissa to come. So I looked at the menu, and I was like, I wanted something that didn't taste like piss water. So I got something. Right. I just picked something that sounded like it would taste good, and then I got it. And like 45 minutes later, I got it, and then it wasn't very good.
It wasn't any good?
No, it wasn't.
What was it called? What was the drink called?
I cannot remember what the drink was called.
That's usually a good drink, then.
Yeah, right?
No, I was wondering, because you texted me this morning saying, I went out drinking last night by myself. So I'm like, oh, God, what's going on? I haven't hung out with you since November. Are you now the David of our podcast? Are you like the alcoholic now? What's going on, man? Are we having a problem?
No problem.
The Dave and Creech Show.
No, we don't have a podcast of alcoholics yet.
Well, you know what? We were going to, that's why we haven't spoken in a while, because we sort of flaked on the podcast. We were going to have a podcast for Beyond White Space.
Exactly.
We were trying to get Holt on there and stuff like that. But, yeah, I don't remember what I was doing that. You know what I was doing there? I was shooting a movie with Zach Ward directing called, like, Patsy Lee and the Guardians of the Fifth Kingdom or something like that. Key to the Fifth Kingdom. And, I just refer to it as Patsy Lee. And then there's some other crazy little subtitle to it. And, James Hong is in it. It's really good. It's going to be really funny in that. Dante Bosco. So we've got some good actors in there. And but I was busy, and I was doing all this, like, did I send you photos of that? Because I was doing, like, right? I think I did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing, like, a bunch of, what do they call that, prosthetics and stuff, so I just didn't have time to even promote that Beyond White Space movie, which is out on DVD. I didn't know it was, and I'm wondering, it probably came out on DVD the same time it was out on VOD and everything. You know what I mean? It was probably everything's released.
Yeah.
So I didn't think of that. So here I am, like, February 15th or whatever, like 3 days ago, like going, oh, I should see, I was ordering some other DVDs because I need to put a new reel together. And I just decided to Google that one, and it's out on DVD, Beyond White Space. So if you're interested and you don't have access to see it on VOD, or possibly it's not on VOD, I do know it's in Redbox, and I think it's in Walmart and Best Buy and places like that. But here's the kicker, and I could be wrong, and maybe you can do some research for me too on your side, is I only saw it available, at least on Walmart, was on regular DVD. And you saw the movie, right?
Oh, yeah.
Did you go to the movie? What did you do? Did you rent it, or how did you get it?
I got it VOD.
Right, so you rented it.
Yeah.
It's like a science fiction movie. It's like space, and there's a monster, and there's like spaceships and stuff. Right? You know the movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot of action. It definitely would. I definitely wouldn't want to see it in, like, standard definition. It definitely It's one of those
That's what I'm
movies you want to
saying.
watch in high def, yeah.
If you own a giant TV, and I finally have a TV, and it's like a 4K TV, I want to buy the damn movie on Blu-ray. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I guess HD DVD. I don't know the difference between the two, but I would want it. I wouldn't want it standard definition. I don't understand that. What? That doesn't make any sense. Lionsgate is the one that put it out, but it's like, why would you even buy? I would have done the opposite and don't even put out standard and just put out Blu-ray. Because I mean, most people have Blu-ray at this point. I would imagine if they've got TVs and stuff, and they're renting them, and they're looking to buy a DVD of a movie that's not a major movie, but it's a sci-fi movie. I would think if you're into that kind of stuff, do you agree with me on this? Do you understand my mind?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, completely.
Beyond White Space, it's a Star Wars-esque action adventure, big space mural, planetary stuff, spaceship fighting, explosions, all this stuff, and it's all CG and stuff like that. The core audience that would be interested in a movie that has no names in it are the type of people that are, audiophile, cinephile type of people that definitely have an Xbox. You know what I mean? They have an Xbox, they have a PlayStation, or they have a Blu-ray player on its own, but if anything, they have a gaming console that plays the Blu-ray, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why would they think that? I'm just very disappointed in Lionsgate. It just makes no sense to me. Like, that's a drop ball, Homer Simpson doy moment. You know what I mean? That kind of like what the fuck are they thinking?
Right. Oh, and
I'm stuck with it.
and now and to go back to the story, because I didn't tell you the story about what happened with drinking last night.
Okay.
And
you don't have to tell me.
Oh no, it's a great story. So I'll tell you.
Okay.
I have to edit one part of this out, but I'll worry about that later. So we were supposed to go out and get drinks yesterday night, but she wasn't able to. And it was the reason we were going out is because it was my mom's birthday, and my mom passed away a while ago, but wanted to go out and have some drinks, but she was unable to make it, so I went out to this bar, and so I go to just have a couple drinks, and there's this lady who comes up to me, this gorgeous lady, and she just starts talking to me, and we talk for like, I don't know, maybe like 30, 45 minutes, and she's like, I'm getting ready to leave here. I have a part. I'm going to a party. Would you like to come? There's free booze. And at that point, I'm like, well, free booze? Like, of course, I don't want to have to keep paying like $6 a bottle for alcohol. So I get in my car and I follow her to what I thought was, this place of this party. But what I found out was her apartment. And I get in there and, there's no decorations. There's a little booze, but it's just me and her. And so I'm like, wait a minute, something's not adding up here. And so I go sit down on her couch, and I'm like, I've at this point I figured out what she wanted, and I'm like, well, that's not going to happen. So I try to derail and sidetrack things by I was like, hey, let's watch something on Netflix. So I pick like a documentary on serial killer Ted Bundy. I'm just hoping that she is just gonna get freaked out and be like, okay, this guy's weird, I need to get him out of my house. And it doesn't work. Like the whole time she's just staring at me, and I'm like, oh god, I really don't know where to go from there.
She's a serial killer. Wait a second, I know this movie. She's a serial killer, right, Creech?
Yeah. You know what? I thought I might have wound up a lampshade last night. It was starting to concern me. And so it goes on, and then eventually she gets up and she takes off her shirt, and she's starting to undo her bra. She's like, well, fuck it. If you don't want to go in the bedroom, then we can do it right here. And at that point, I'm like, no. I was like, hold on. Go get ready in the bedroom. Let me turn off your TV and everything in here, and I'll be right in there. And at that point, when she went to the bedroom, I grabbed my keys and I ran out the door to my car. And didn't really know the area too well, so I'm sitting in my car trying to get the GPS to work, and it's like basically a horror movie. I'm expecting her to show up at my window at any point and like drag me back into the to her apartment and turn me into a lampshade. But thankfully that didn't happen, and I drove off very, very fast, and I'm still alive today. Props to me.
Wow. Yeah. Crazy.
But yeah,
But
so
you're alive.
I'm
In
alive.
several ways. Jumped in a car, your heart's racing. You shouldn't be driving in that kind of situation. You know what I mean? So I don't know, a whole bunch of nothing. I remember when you texted me, going like, I'm going out drinking tonight. So let me know what time tomorrow you want a podcast. And I was like, that doesn't sound good when you're going out drinking by yourself. I said, nothing ever. That's already a bad situation. He said, I'm going to go out drinking by myself tonight. Yeah, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, anytime I've went drinking before, it's usually been with Jalen or even with other friends, and it's never ended that badly. So yes, I'm definitely never going out alone again, because that was quite traumatic.
Yeah, you should have put the movie in Flesh Blanket. Did you ever see Flesh Blanket?
I've actually never even heard of Flesh Blanket.
I don't know where it's out on, but, some of the guys that I hang with in L.A., mainly this guy, Brandon, he wrote and directed it. And it's a very interesting sort of hybrid movie of, like, a horror movie and a documentary. And the lead character really does die. But he didn't die in the movie, but he dies at the end of the movie because by the time he ended up editing the movie, and since it was kind of a documentary, he did die. The guy in real life died, so he just made it where he died in the documentary and played like the answering machine and showed the obituary of the real, since he was playing himself in the movie.
Oh wow!
I don't want to give it all away, but he is a heavy guy. He was a heavy guy. His name's Ramsey something, and he was a heavy guy, and he would lay on girls. He would lay on them and kill them. That was in the movie. He was known as Flesh Blanket, and he would smother them and kill them. So
oh jeez,
that would have been a real interesting one for you to put on, because that would have been really.
Well, I'm definitely going to find out what that's streaming on. So in case that ever happens to me again, I've got a backup plan already ready.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's kind of a train wreck, but it's also really good at the same time. And it's so unique, and there's some moments in there that really work, and then there's other moments that drag. But I liked it a lot more than I thought I would like it, and quite frankly, because of its uniqueness and the fact that it's like raw, the rawness and sort of like documentary kind of vibe to it all. I love the rawness. It sort of has this man bites dog kind of thing to it. And, I love, to me, raw stuff is so creepy and scary. That movie, Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. Did you ever see that one?
That's the one with Rooker, right?
Yeah, it's Rooker and the guy from the first sheriff in Thousand Courses, Tom something. He's dead now. They play brothers.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I think Tom was probably from like Dawn of the Dead, maybe, or something like that, or not Night of the Living Dead, man, Dawn of the Dead. Anyway, long story short on that is that movie is really. I love that movie because there's something really raw and sort of just really raw. You know what I mean? It's just kind of so independent, but yet so dramatic in a kind of Reservoir Doggy type of way. But it's, just, to me, it's like, it just works. You know what I mean? It might be my top 5. Well, if you consider that a horror movie, I don't know if you do, but it might be a top 5 in that genre. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you ever see one called Angst? You ever see Angst?
Ankh? I feel like I've heard of that horror movie.
Yeah, it's ANGST, like angst.
Oh, angst. I might have.
It's German. I think it's German or Denmark or whatever. I don't know. It's made like the 80s. It's awesome. It's so raw and weird and creepy, and it's kind of like, you know that scene in Clockwork Orange where they go in with the penis and the tapes and they rape the woman? You know what I'm talking about? Imagine like that being shot totally independent in like a really like no money area, like meaning in an area of like less economic standards. Like those guys went into like a really like a millionaire's house, you know what I'm saying? With a mansion. Like imagine that happening in a project, you know, and just done so raw with like a handheld camera in the 80s. Imagine that with Train Spotting, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like mixing those two genres together. That's what Ox is like. And I like that it's in a foreign language because it makes it that much more creepier too, you know? Because he doesn't say a lot anyway. The main killer guy hardly says anything. There's not a lot of talking anyway in it, you know? So I would recommend that to a lot of people if you're into that kind of stuff. It's a cool one. I watched that the first time I saw that movie. It was like kind of trapped in some sort of like replay cycle at this house I was sleeping over at. So it was on the TV, but it was like in replay mode. And I was had a couple beers, and I was already sleeping on the couch. I felt like I was watching as I was asleep, and I was just too tired to like turn it off, you know, or to figure out how to turn the TV system on. So it played like 7 times all night, just all night, like a marathon. And I was sleeping through some of it, but it was still like playing in my, you know what I mean? It was like playing in a loop in my head as I was sleeping. So,
yeah,
very interesting. So far, we're going sort of a fringe Dave and Creech show here. We're talking about fringe-esque movies, and it really started with that whole my own fact that I'm on the fringe shooting these weird fringe movies. I'm shooting a movie in the frostbitten tundra of Pennsylvania, -8, and then I got that Beyond White Space. It's on DVD the same day it's released, but they don't put it on Blu-ray. You know, like that's a punch to the balls. Don't you think you spend all that time on a science fiction movie like that and it doesn't even get released on Blu-ray? I'm so disappointed in Lionsgate. Hopefully I'm wrong. And maybe they're going to do it later on, but why wouldn't you just put it out? It's not like it's some sort of weird, like, it can't be that much more expensive to put out. You know what I'm saying? It's a file and a format.
Yeah, I mean,
you agree, right? Like,
no.
A regular DVD, you get a regular DVD for $10.99, and then it goes, or Blu-ray for $13.99. So it can't be that much more to put out. It's like, I don't understand. I'm really disappointed. Because I feel like I talked to Ryan. We've had Ryan on the show, the producer. Remember we've had him on the show?
Yeah, I think we've had him on twice so far.
Yeah, I was emailing him, and he said he's available. I want to call him and find out. But I asked him if he had any mandates inside the paperwork, like the contract that said you had to release something like this. And he goes, no, there was nothing in there that said you had to release any type of file or any type of format. And the movie that I shot in Pennsylvania, and currently it's called The Special. Now, names always change. Like, for instance, Beyond White Space was, when we were shooting it was called White Space.
Yeah.
But they added the Beyond part because W is so far down in the queue that they wanted to get it up. And then there's been all sorts of Beyond Skyline and Beyond this and Beyond that. Like, a lot of, like, science fiction movies have come out in the last 2 years that add the Beyond to it. You know what I mean? So that it's that it goes up higher in the queue. You know, on the rental thing, it shows up on the scrolling thing faster. So, but like I was going to say was this other director. His name's Harrison Smith. And
the guy who did Death House, right?
Yeah, he did Death House. Did you see Death House?
I have not.
Okay, yeah. He
I know it's out on
directed
DVD,
it.
DVD and Blu-ray now.
Yeah, absolutely it is. Oh, it's on Blu-ray?
Yeah, it's on Blu-ray, unlike White Space.
Well, you know it's not on Blu-ray beyond White Space.
Exactly.
At least I'm glad I ordered the regular one from Walmart, because when I get it, I'm just going to bring it back to Walmart. I'm still going to go look. Maybe Walmart just wasn't selling the Blu-ray. Maybe I got to go online. Maybe it's sold at, Amazon or somewhere else. It wouldn't make sense that Walmart wouldn't carry the Blu-ray. It just doesn't make sense. But maybe the website just couldn't find it. I don't know. I should probably just go down to Walmart and see if it's there. Might be one copy in Blu-ray. Just doesn't make sense.
That's crazy. 'Cause I know we actually just Strangeland. We just actually helped fund a movie that was running a Kickstarter. Because one of our clients, Richard Grieco, is in it, and it just raised $170,000 on Kickstarter for the
Great.
and the goal was only 50,000. So they
And so what's the movie? What is he doing?
it's called Attack of the Unknown. It's supposed to be like kind of like an alien invasion movie, but it's gonna have Richard Grieco and Tara Reid in it. It's it starts filming tomorrow in LA.
Oh, I can't make it tomorrow, Preach. Tomorrow's too late.
I mean, I think I don't know how long they're filming, but another one of our clients is actually starting.
No, call them now. Call them now. Tell them to start shooting now. I'm on my way. Tomorrow's no good. It's President's Day. Can't shoot on a holiday. God damn it, Creech. What the hell did you get me into? Here's my thing. Listen, the White Space was $1 million, but we put it in the can for $500. I hope they don't have too many aliens and
right.
Because at 170, you're not even getting Sharknado for that much money. Well,
I don't know how much they raised outside of the Kickstarter, but I know for the Kickstarter they were wanting only 50,000.
Oh, I see. So they might have other money.
Yeah.
In other places. Like I would do Kickstarter, and this is anyone out there, aspiring filmmakers. When I go to raise the money for whatever little indie film I'm going to do next, and I don't know what it's going to be because I can't speak on the one I gave you, and I got to get Paul. Paul wants to read the Halloween movie. Remember the Halloween movie?
Yeah, I haven't read any draft of that in a while.
Yeah, well, then there really hasn't been a new draft. I need to tweak a couple things, but I am changing the titles. I'm changing. I will send you a picture of the poster. I'll text it to you when I'm done, and I think you'll understand. I can't say anything else besides we're changing the marketing and the concept without changing a single page. Just by changing what we're marketing and how we're marketing it and what the title is completely going to change what. Well, I mean, here it is. You know it's a horror comedy, right?
Yeah.
But is it a comedy that has horror stuff in it? You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Is it a comedy that has horror in it, or is it a horror? Is it a comedic horror? You know what I'm saying? And so we feel like we need $1.5 million minimum to make this thing really sing with all the moving parts we have in it. And I've been doing $200,000 movies, $250,000, $500,000, and I see what we get for that kind of money because I've been acting in them and paying attention. And I really feel like I don't want to. I love the script so much that I don't want to. It's not worth it for me to undercut the actual script in the movie just to make it. I don't want to make it and not make it right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I agree.
I have other projects and I have other concepts I can make for $200,000 that can be done to the extent that they need to be made that way. You know what I'm saying? Like I can fulfill the concept of other scripts I have for $200,000 better. So I'm going to move on in that direction in terms of $200,000. But what I found was when you're talking with horror people and people that produce horror and people that put money up for horror, they tend to be like $100,000, $200,000, but they really want them to be straight horror because they feel like, okay, if it's real horror and it's also at that price point, well, it's going to make money on some level, maybe not a lot, but it's going to make its money back, even if it's the worst piece of shit. But then there's the opportunity for it to be a Paranormal Activity or a Blair Witch or what have you, where it just blows up big, right? And, and you know, most movies don't have that opportunity. They don't have the story that is going to warrant that, or the execution, or the style of why the movie's being made. Those movies are lightning in a bottle, you know, or actually even more rare. It's a bottle in lightning. That's how rare those movies are. It's a bottle in lightning. That probably doesn't. I don't think that's ever. I don't know a lot of people that like, I saw lightning come down from the sky and it smashed a bottle on the ground. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Who knows? Anyway, bottom line is this. When we were talking to the horror people, they didn't mind the comedy, but they weren't going to spend more than $200,000 or $100,000. And then when I was talking with my comedy friends, you know, like to say Marlon Wayans and people that make studio level movies that are much more higher budgeted, when I explained to them that it was a horror comedy, when it was entitled Halloween Party 1986, and it was leading with Halloween, you know, Halloween Party, they couldn't get beyond that, and they wanted nothing to do with horror. You know what I mean? They're like, no. If you bring me a mom and son family comedy, divorced mom, you know, at Cancun, you know, with her son being, you know, claiming to be her boyfriend or something like that to make some guy jealous. Like, whatever the plot is, that's where they can go and put $2 million down. You know what I'm saying? But these guys get scared away from horror because it's not their forte, and they would just, I feel like they just felt like they couldn't do the execution. They couldn't trust the execution. And they don't know the market, and they don't know the conventions like I know the conventions. I know how people, that's how you can market. So with that said, I have to err on the side of, well, the only way to really do this movie the way I want to do it is for 1.2 or 1.3. So now I got to I'm not pulling any horror out of the movie, but I'm pulling it out of the title. I'm pulling it out of the concept so that it's more of a comedy, and that just happens to have horror elements to it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I saw a trailer for on Netflix for a thing called Game Over Dude or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it was like, it was the Workaholic guys meet
Die Hard.
Die Hard, right? So that was their elevator pitch. It's us idiots meet Die Hard. However, nobody's looking at that as an action comedy. They're looking at that as a comedy with action in it. You know what I mean? Or stupid action in it. But nobody's calling that an action comedy with those guys, right?
Yeah.
It's a comedy. And so that's the same thing with what I'm now shifting towards. Is it's a comedy that has, you know, horrific scenes in it that go horrifically bad.
And actually, speaking of the Workaholics dudes, I'm actually getting ready to do background work with one of the guys from Workaholics. Adam Devine?
Adam Levine, yeah.
Or Levine?
Adam Devine. Adam Devine.
Oh yeah, Adam Devine. Yeah, sorry, not the Maroon 5 singer, because they just contacted me. HBO's doing that show down here, with Danny McBride and John Goodman and Adam, and I'm doing background work on it.
What's the show?
It's called I think it's Righteous Brothers or something like that. It's Danny McBride's newest show for HBO. It's like a comedy.
They're making something for Netflix, which looks really funny, and it's It's with the guys from The Office or whatever, and it's based on Donald Trump's Space Force. I think it's just called Space Force. You know what I mean? It's like Steve Carell and Greg Daniels are doing it.
Oh yeah, the Space Force. Yeah.
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 It's gonna be like the right stuff. Like imagine The Office. You know what I mean? Imagine like a Cape Canaveral, training facility of Space Force. You know what I mean? So, it's gonna be stripes set with spaceships, probably. I think it could be funny.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll watch anything Stephen Carell's in.
Yeah.
You won't,
So,
because you refuse to watch The Office because they didn't cast you.
Yeah, no, I've seen episodes of The Office. Carell's brilliant in it. He's good for sure. I've seen a lot of it. I think the only thing I don't like about The Office is the whole look to the camera thing is a little too much sometimes. You know what I mean? When they do that weird, awkward look to the camera, it's kind of like you can only do that a couple times a show, but all the actors don't know how many times the other actors are doing it. It's you watch an episode and 3 people look to the camera, and do that whole you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, well, I'm actually excited because I'm doing press in Rowley in 2 months, and they're gonna have people from The Office there along with Tim Curry. So hopefully, get some good interviews out of that.
What's at Rowley? What's that one?
Raleigh SuperCon. It's massive. Like the guest list they've got already is huge. They've got people from The Office and Tim Curry and the children from It and most of the Star Trek The Next Generation people and people from Power Rangers. It's crazy. And there's a John Cusack, a lot of big name actors that don't normally do conventions or as many that's going to be there. So I was like, this one's going to be one that's going to make a ton of money.
That's pretty cool. And that one's in what, May?
I think June or July. It's in the summer for sure.
Freak. It's just, I was thinking of something that I totally forget. You were talking, Next Generation. That was it. Star Trek Next Generation. It still sounds very young, doesn't it? Oh yeah, the Next Generation ones, guys. Isn't that wasn't that the first? Wasn't that Picard and stuff like that?
Yeah, that's Picard. Yeah, that was many generations ago.
Right.
Storyline was.
Yeah, it's 30 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Something like that, probably 30 something years ago.
Yeah.
But it sounds young still. The cast in Star Trek Next Generation is going to be there. It's wasn't that 4 generations ago? How could they be the next generation anymore? Now they got to be called Past Generation 3, 4.4.
Yeah, Star Trek 3 generations removed.
Yeah. They should just be called Star Trek Generation now or something like that. Geriatrics.
The geriatric generation.
Who's left from the original Star Trek? I'm shocked that Shatner's still alive. How old do you think that fucking old?
He's pretty old. He was at the Raleigh I did last year. He was there, and then one of the other people was too. I don't remember who. I know Uhura is still alive. I think.
Yeah.
And George Takei, obviously.
It's George Takei. George Takei. I'm George Takei. Hello. How does he talk? He's deep. Hello, I'm George Takei. Yes. Yes, I'm George Takei. Yeah, he's not dead, huh? I thought he was dead. Everyone else is dead, right? The guy who played the Doc was the first one, right?
Yeah, he's dead.
The first one to die. He died before they even made the freaking movies or something, I think, or he died while they were making those movies. God damn it, Jim! Right? He was always angry. That's why he died. Probably died about stuff up. You know what I mean? He had a fucking knot in his fucking prostate. He was always clenching so much. And then Scotty's dead, right?
Scotty. Oh, I don't know about Scotty. I know Spock's dead.
Wasn't Scotty the guy down by the beaming deck?
I don't know.
Yeah. What are you talking about? He's down there when you're getting beamed up. It's like, beam me up, Scotty. And then he's sitting there and he's watching them come back. That's all he ever had to do. All right, yeah, push this button. And you're going to be moleculed down there with like a microwave, and then you're going to microwave you back here. But he's sitting in front of all that radiation. There's got to be all sorts of radiation in there and stuff like that. So he's definitely dead. He's right. Dude, because that was real shit. They didn't want to let people know that. But that, the technology they were using on that show, they didn't have CG and blue screen. That was real. They were really just beaming the people. You know what I mean? And so as an actor, just like the girl from Man with the Golden Gun. Remember that movie, Man with the Golden Gun, the Goldfinger?
I've never actually watched really any of the James Bond movies.
Oh, you're a loser.
Yeah, I know.
We had so much in common. I just watched Die Another Day last night with Rocco. That was a Pierce Brosnan one, and honestly, I thought I'd seen every James Bond movie, and maybe that one I forgot about. Maybe I was like, oh, I'm gonna have a couple drinks. I'm gonna kind of see it halfway through. I'm with somebody. Maybe I was with my wife. We're not paying attention. I don't know, but yeah, it's a pretty good movie. Like, you know, it's not good story-wise. James Bond movies aren't really, but that was like before there was like fake cars and fake explosions and CG stuff, where when they're doing like car chases, it's real. You know what I mean? And when the cars get flipped up. And so that had so many practical stunts in it that was fun to watch, because it just has so much more kinetic energy when you watch real stunts on TV or on film. Don't you agree?
Yeah, no, 100%. It's completely different because it kind of sometimes 9 out of 10 times if you're watching something and it's like overly CG, it just kind of takes you out of the moment.
Right. Well, you know what it is? Because when things are overly CG, they got to make it even overly crazy too. Like there was a trailer for Triple X, the one with Ice Cube. I think it was in 2004, 2005. I don't remember when he did it, but it was his Triple X. And, you know, he jumps off this CG car onto some sort of, like, train or something like that, and just as, like, the car gets blown up and flipped, but it was all fake, right? And it was so violent and so fast and so, you know, but it wasn't real, and plus it was so big that it just, like, something about it just didn't move you the same way like a real car would just kind of flip and just really just, you just feel the metal just bending on a real car, you know what I mean? And the scraping and the sparks. It's just something about filming even a lesser than stunt, even if the stunt isn't as extreme as what a CG thing would be, like Spider-Man, you know, when he's flying all over the place and doing all these jumps and leaps and the gravity is just not working in the way gravity works. It's not the same as, you know, a guy just really swinging from a one rope. You know, it's just there's something more exciting, like like Luke Skywalker when he has that rope and Princess Leia, and they do that little swing. That has more kinetic energy to it. It just feels like better. You know what I'm saying? And it's just as action packed in some weird way. Like when Indiana Jones is running from that boulder. You know what I'm saying? When that boulder's chasing him down the thing. It's like, now, I don't. That might have been. They might have shot that like on a. That might have been like, you know, two different frames that they put together, but they're both legitly real. Like, it's not a CG boulder. That's like a real boulder thing that they rolled. You know what I mean? And it just feels real. It just feels the energy there feels real. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know where that came from. Man, you're really taking us off on some tangents. I'm blaming you. It's all you. Yeah, because that's what Felissa does, right? Felissa books herself at all these conventions. She books herself with, like, a merch table that she pays for table.
I was wondering that because I know at Days of the Dead, even though they announced her as a guest, like she didn't have like a banner, and they didn't put her up against the wall. She was like in one of the vendor tables. I wondered about that. I was like, that's kind of weird. But I know she did a good weekend.
That's good. Anyway, so you got to talk with Felissa, and now you have a little bit of an interview with her. How long is the interview?
Interview's about 10 minutes.
Okay, so it's not too long.
No,
what did you guys cover?
We discussed her new documentary that is coming out this year called Angela Lives, which is chronicling the making of the first Sleepaway Camp. Right. And obviously the release of Death House and her work with Entertainment Factory and you. We talked about working with you, Victor Crowley, and obviously Camp Twilight and Killer Rose, and all those films. And then some of the stuff that she's doing right now, producing other films and all that.
Right. And doesn't she have like a reality show on Shudder or something like that?
I don't know. I know she's got a new show coming out. I don't know if they've officially announced it yet. But she does have a new show, yeah. It's like a horror something for Shudder.
Exactly, yeah. Well, let's play that. Let's get into that.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is CJ Creech of Strange on Oddities and the Dave and Creech Show, and we are here with one of my favorite people. She's now technically, I've interviewed her.
We're like family now.
We are, yes.
We're related.
We've talked over the phone. We've interviewed in person on sets, and
Florida.
we are now here at Days of the Dead Atlanta, and I didn't say her name earlier, even though you should already know it, but it is Felissa Rose, and she's amazing.
Hi, thank you.
And first things first, obviously we're here at Days of the Dead Atlanta. How has it been this weekend?
Oh my gosh, it's been unbelievable. An insanely busy weekend. Met so many cool people. Definitely, I love seeing you. I love seeing all my friends. But I got to see again, because I had met him once before, Greg Nicotero. And I am still on a high, flipping out, that I got to engage with this unbelievably inspiring and most talented man. So that's just the highlight for me.
Yeah. I don't know if you stayed in the hotel mostly, but I know he does have a restaurant locally too.
He does?
Yeah, I think it's maybe about an hour away, called Nick and Norman's.
He did. You know what? He did tell me that I invited him to the VIP party, and he said that he lives about an hour away. He had already left, so I said, "Oh, come back, come." He's like, he's busy. He has Creep Show coming, so on Shudder. You have to all check that out. But yeah, he's just very inspiring to me and amazing.
Oh yeah, and as we can see with the images on the table, obviously Angela is one of your most notable characters in Sleepaway Camp, and you were in 3 of those, if I remember correctly, right?
I was in the first, and then returned to Sleepaway Camp.
And then I know they announced recently that you were doing. There's a documentary, I think. My Name is Angela.
Angela, yes. So that will be an in-depth documentary with my very close friend, an amazing documentary filmmaker named Mike Perez. And he's won Saturn Awards for his previous works, and this film will really be an in-depth look, both personally and an overall look at the film Sleepaway Camp, which we're still talking about 36 years later, so I'm blown away by that.
Exactly, yeah, and like 36 years of memories, and I'm sure it's going to be a blast for the fans to look at, because I'm pretty sure all the behind-the-scenes stuff that maybe nobody knows about yet, that it's going to come to light.
It's a crazy little film that keeps on moving. I mean, it's incredible to me at events like this, conventions all over the place, how people still love it and support it and embrace it, and young fans and people who saw it when it was in the theaters telling me brilliant stories about how they came across it, and I feel very grateful for it. So it's the movie that just chugs along.
Exactly, and it's given you an amazing career, and you've had so many other films, and personally for us, obviously Dave and Creech with Dave Sheridan, you got to act with him not only in just Victor Crowley, but you're becoming like thick as thieves now on the film.
So Dave and I met. Well, we met actually, funny enough, in Atlanta 4 years ago at this convention, and then we got to work on Victor Crowley together. And right after that, we did Stan the Man, Camp Twilight, Killer Rose, and now The Special, which films in Pennsylvania. And he has a huge role. He's sort of it's a horror movie, but he's the comedy relief. Go figure.
Yeah.
And yes, I've been working with him a lot, and I really appreciate his talent. He's like one of those character actors who's outrageous. He arrives on set and you can't even tell it's him. He's unrecognizable. So I do love my Dave Sheridan.
Yeah, he texted me photos, I think, from the set of Killer Rose, and I was like, that doesn't even look like him.
And from Camp Twilight, where he looked like he was the park ranger, a little kind of, disheveled and big beard, to Hank in Killer Rose, where he shaved his head and he had the big handlebar mustache and tatted everywhere. Just sensational. That's the sign of such a wonderful actor.
Now, did you get to actually fight with him in Killer Rose? Because I know he was the lead bad guy, right?
He's the lead bad guy, and I'm sort of his nemesis, who just is on the hunt for him throughout the whole movie. So our roles are really we are the villains, I'm more like the anti-hero, So it was fun.
Yeah, and on top of that, I know with everything that you've got going on now with the actual acting part, you do producing and all that too. And how is that, balancing all of these certain different things that you've got going on?
It's so fun, and it's fun to be a producer because I get to sort of look at the whole entire picture, and I'd never done that, just acting. So I really enjoy producing. Sometimes not even acting in the movies. Like right now with The Special, I'm a producer on it, and I helped cast the movie, so it's definitely a treat for me to kind of be on both sides. I really love it. I'm working with Vernon Wells. I'm producing a bunch of his movies. I'm working with Joe Bob Briggs on his Shudder show. I'm the Mango Dick expert. And I have some announcements coming, which I'm so excited. I'm kind of just, want to yell it from the rooftops, but I'm not allowed yet. So big announcement coming in the next few weeks.
Exactly. If it's what I think it is, then yes, it is pretty amazing. Might have heard a little something last night.
I had a few too many drinks, and I think I was telling a few people, but
it's no worry because it's no worry because one, we won't spill anything, and two, this probably won't be up for a couple of weeks, so it'll already be announced by then.
Hopefully,
we can just put a link to the announcement in the video right there.
I'm so happy.
But yeah, it's been amazing to see all the success that's been coming your way.
Thank you.
And obviously, it's always a pleasure to get to spend time with you, hang out with you.
We did have a lot of fun last night.
we did. There was plenty of
alcohol involved.
There was just a little bit of alcohol involved. And but we're here. We made it this morning, so
yeah, we're here.
So I mean that's ultimately what matters, right?
Absolutely.
Now before we go, because obviously I don't want to take up all your time.
No, not at all. I love it.
But what do you got that's coming out on the pipeline now that you'd like to promote?
There's a movie called Lilith. I just love the team that put that together. We also did a movie, the same people, called Brian the Rom-Com. That comes out soon. I did a movie called Ugly Sweater Party with one of my favorite directors. His name is Aaron Mento. He's so fantastically smart and amazing at what he does. That's out. And even though it's not holidays, it's hilarious, so check it out. There's just... every day it's like something new. I'm trying to think, like my brain is mush. It's Sunday. Forgive me. But I just keep announcing. I'm mainly on like Twitter and Instagram. I come on Facebook sometimes and I try to, promote all the stuff. Lake of Shadows and American Horror Show. These are movies by Michael Rodriguez. I love him. Great director. So some fun movies.
Yes, exactly. And Dave Sheridan, you should have been here. Like, seriously, we still don't figure out why you didn't come.
Well, he's on his way to the special.
He's
filming.
He's on a job, so we'll let it slide this time.
Just this time.
But yes, so I do want to thank you again for everything.
For having me. Thank
and
you.
as usual, you're always welcome on. And it seems like maybe we'll be seeing you in Las Vegas in a couple of months. So
I will be at Days of the Dead Vegas for sure.
So very likely our paths will cross again, and we can always do more follow-ups for sure.
I love that. Thank you guys.
All right, so we meandered a little bit, and we certainly learned a lot for our little time back. We talked about Pat D. Lee, Zach Ward, James Hahn. That should be out sometime this year, coming up 2019. Beyond White Space is out on DVD. Don't forget to get your own copy of that. We also talked a little bit about the special, although I didn't really mention too much about it at all. And by the way, it's a great movie. It's going to be very cool. You know me. I always want to think the project is unique in some way or interesting in some way, even if it's at least interesting for my performance. You know, sometimes I take a movie just because it's either I sound like it'll be a cool movie or I'm going to have a fun time playing the role. And a lot of times it's usually the role for me because I don't control the movie. I don't control how the movie's going to come out. So I do know that I can control my acting to an extent, and I try to always bring it. You know what I mean? I try to show up. I definitely don't want to be. If I start mailing in performances, then there's no point in me even doing it anymore. So I don't mind however small the movie is. My goal is to always, bring it to the level of what I think any, performance needs to be at. So that's called the special, and we're going to talk more about that one as the months move forward here. We'll have some of the actors on and the director to fill us in a little bit more on it, but you can go online and try to dig around and you might get some pieces. I know there's been some photos posted on Harrison's Twitter account and stuff like that. And Star Trek Next Generation is no longer the Next Generation. There's several generations past, and some of them might be dead. I don't know. The original Star Trek members, many of them are dead. Greco and Tara Reid are shooting an alien invasion movie starting on President's Day. They're really kicking it off in a good way for $150,000. Major, crazy alien movie, and they're shooting it on a holiday, so the crew is going to love them. This is amazing. You think it starts on Tuesday, Creech. I think you might have got that wrong. I don't think it starts tomorrow. Nobody's working on President's Day. No independent film wants to start working on Monday. Their kids are home from school. Come on, it's not happening. I don't know. Bad decision there. I would say that's a fail. Anyway, I'm sure we covered a bunch of other stuff, wrestling conventions, all the conventions coming up. Your crazy date with a serial killer. Wait, you was a serial killer. Yeah. Creech is a serial killer. Don't ever invite Creech back to your barely furnished apartment at 1 a.m. alone. Don't ever do it, people. I think we learned a lesson here today. We definitely learned a lesson. And this has been the Dave and Creech Show. That is what we talked about. Edit that up. I don't know, make it funny. Do your little
I'll try.
Stuff. Do it. Yeah, trying's not good enough. Not good enough at all.
Okay.
Do you have anything to add, Creech?
I actually don't. It seems like you covered everything. It's good to be back on the Dave and Creech Show in 2019, and obviously
it's good to be back. I felt like I was, even though I meandered a little bit, I felt like I was on the ball. I felt like I kind of had some energy, and I was talking, and it's sort of pulling. I felt like it anchored a little bit more than normal because I wasn't the guy that went out drinking last night and ended up with a suspect serial killer in a barely furnished apartment. Right? Is that the way you kind of summed it up?
Yep, basically, yeah. Who knows? Maybe by the time we do the next episode next month, that I might have almost died again. Well, probably not from going to random strange girl's house, but a certain somebody else might kill me. You never know.
You might have your DNA on an FBI database by the next time we We do a podcast. We're not too careful. Let's not have to do that. All right.
Yeah.
Let me. One last note. One last tip. If you ever get yourself in some sort of weird situation like that, refuse to put the lotion in the basket. Refuse to put the lotion on. At that point, they'll just go, "Oh, this person's being too difficult. Just leave."
If I ever get arrested, I'll make sure I use my one call on you.
Yeah, exactly.
Just so you cannot answer, I can leave a voicemail. Like, Creech, he doesn't need anything. I don't know why he's calling. I'll let it go straight to voicemail.
Yeah, you never call me. We're like texting type people. Like, I don't pick up my phone anyway. I think you know that. But you don't call me.
Yeah.
If you did call, I wouldn't pick up because I would think it was an accidental dial because you never call me. So if you do need to get a hold of me, you're better off just texting. Call me. You know, I need help. Call me. That would be better because then I would actually call you.
Yeah, I just gotta smuggle internally a cell phone into my anus in order to make that happen.
Now you get one phone call, one text. You get 2 texts, 1 phone. I think nowadays you get 4 texts, 1 GIF. You get 2 notifications. You get 3 abilities to post pictures onto your Twitter account, and then you still get 1 phone call. And
1 Facebook post.
1 app. You're allowed to download 1 app and order some food by Postnet or Uber Eats. These are all rights now. These are all rights. They've expanded that 1 phone call into several things. They should. With the fact that we have these phones now, you should get 1 phone call, 2 emails, 3 texts, the ability to send 3 selfies. You should be able to have your mugshot as a selfie and have the right to put that on as your profile picture on 3 social media sites of your choosing. These are all, and this is what I'm working on. And this is where America and the world needs to go. And that is what it's called being progressive. You see what I'm saying? Not this other stuff. Who wants free college? If everyone gets a college degree, then guess what? You've got 5 people folding clothes at Banana Republics with college degrees, okay? There's not enough jobs for people with college degrees. You don't need everyone with a college degree. That doesn't make any sense. Then nobody's special, all right? And if everyone gets free medical care, then we'll all go out and smoke and get diabetes and do whatever we want. You know what I mean? We'll all be like playing football without helmets at that point if we all get free medical care. Who's wearing seatbelts then, right? I'm not going to wear a seatbelt. Seatbelts to go out of business. I got free medical care. I'm going through that windshield. Let's have fun. Okay.
And that rant was brought to you by Dave Sheridan.
That's right. And it's been Dave and Creech Show. Later.